This is the brickwork to the tunnel. So let's protect this. You might ask me, why did I do the train first? Why didn't I start up there? Normally landscapes I do. Now the reason is that I wanted to make sure I got the train right. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the picture, but I just wanted to tell you now again the reasons why I did it. Now I love that train, and if that hadn't worked out then I'd probably have scrapped it. But what if you've done all of that, which is a lot of work, then did the train, then ruined it and scrapped it? All that work would have been wasted. I'm confident that I can do all of this and all of this and all of this. I'm confident, but I wasn't that confident on the train, having never done one before. Anyway, it's all worked out well, so there we go. Now this is the picture. This is not a very good one, I'm afraid, but this is the one, the tunnel that I'm using. It wasn't the same train, as you can see, but this is sort of a picture that I'm going to be working from. So let's tack that up there, close to the picture, the original. I'm going to start off by putting some grey. This is 230 up here. Now on the top of that, I'm going to put some white. And the reason being that obviously it's catching the light at the top. I want it to be just a bit lighter up there, and we can still put the grey on top of the white, but that will give me, as you can see immediately, a nice tone. I'm not worried about the lines, they will all disappear in the background eventually. Now this also applies along here too, so let's do the same thing again, along here and in here. You've got to start somewhere, and I can't think of a better place than something safe like this. Now that's white, and that will be just a little bit of white on the top edge. Again, I'm not worried about the lines, that will go into the brickwork as it happens above. A little bit of light, although having said that, maybe I will take it off the top because it's going to be a dark background there. So if I can find my eraser. I've got a pencil line on there, so let's get rid of the pencil line. Now you'll see the reason for why I did that now. In place of the pencil line, we put the white. It gives us a light highlight, which we can use. Don't think I need it down. Okay, now. Okay, oh, hang on now. It's under there as well, Colin. Now, this smoke here, you do bring some of the colour into the smoke. Now, let's do this first then. Now with your grey, I don't think that's going to be, well, maybe it will be alright. I didn't think it was going to be sharp enough, but that's not bad. No, that's not bad. Okay, now the same thing in here. Now in here, before we put it on the main structure, I'm going to darken that like that, and along there like that, and again like that. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill it in, but not as strong. I'll do a little bit, I won't do it all, so you can see what it looks like before and after. Okay, now this is we're going to have to put some colour on here as well, but remember it's got to be just a little less, and it's the same in here, not quite so strong. So we then work 175, and the 175 goes in there, repeating what I've just done. In fact, and it will also go at the bottom, not at the top. Leave the top alone. In here we've got, this is round, coming like that. So how do we do that? Well, we leave that as it is, and then bring this one up. Very, very light touch. Now can you see how it looks round? I don't think we want it any darker than that, so I'm going to leave it at that. And you can then put the grey and the colour that you first had on here, and that will go right in the middle. No pressure. And you can do this 2 or 3 times if you have to, but you see how we get a lovely design on that. Hey, it's all clever stuff, folks. Now the 175 can also be used just to touch in just the odd, it won't be that pristine, you see, like that. And why not put a bit of colour on? Now I'm using one colour. I'm using a 169, or will be using a 169 in this bridge. So 169 is like a mauvey grey, so it's a nice idea just to put a little tickle of colour. Now you don't put it on until this stage, until the end. Now I hope you can see that. That looks really, really nice. That, and just if you've been a bit fussy, I'll just put just a little bit of depth of white at the bottom of that, and that gives us a really, really nice looking edge. I'll do the same with that. What I'll do here is put just a very faint trace of 175 actually at the bottom there, and then I will use my grey colour shaper, a clean one, and blend that. I might as well do it all, because it's all going to be the same. Now that looks pretty good to me. I don't want any more 175 actually in that. It's too small to worry about, but that's going to look great when it's finished. But that is absolutely stunning, and the colour on the brickwork is going to include the 169. Alright, so I'll do that next. So let me finish this off. You've seen me do it. There's no need to me to do it. I just put a 175 under there, I think. Yes, do any more, you've seen it. All I would do is I would add some 233 here in there. And right at the top. I'd leave that alone. And then I would use just a little spot of the 169. Now I may return to that, I don't know yet. We'll just see how it turns out. But that is pretty impressive. I love the colour. Now when all this is done, that's going to look really good. And then what we'll do, we'll work from the top, we'll work down, and we'll put all the brickwork in, which, as you can see, if I just show you the picture again, is going to be great. It's all this lovely pinky, ochre, 180/80 colour. Okay, let me finish this off. It looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? Let me show you how I did it. Started off with the 230. That gave me the base colour. Right, now into that. Now Oh, just before we do that though, I did this afterwards, but I think I might do it before I start. I'm using the 169, remember I used in there just now? Well, nice sharp 169 develops our design. It's a nice little bit of detail for the bridge. We'll have to go back over that when we finished. Right, I'm using 189. Now this is put in, you've seen me do this many times before. If you're using the ombre paper, you will have the tooth. You can see the tooth, I hope you can, on there. It runs across the picture. If you use it, you'll be able to do what I'm doing. If you don't, you can still do the same thing as I'm doing, but it won't catch the paper. You'll have to invent the brickwork. You're kind of putting it in as though you're building the bricks, and as you bring the other colours in, there you go. Now, okay, that's got that. And we want some inside here as well. There, all you can do there is just put a bit of colour on. You can't put the bricks inside there, but here you can. It's not until the next couple of colours go on that you see the effects. It's a long job. It'd be a lot easier if you just fill that in, but it doesn't look as good. Next colour, this is 188. It's an unusual colour, this. You don't use it often, but in this case it's a bricky colour, which is absolutely ideal for what we're doing here. And we do exactly the same thing again. You can see the tooth of the paper there. Right, that's got that down. Now, the next thing we use is the grey. That's it. Get the order right. The grey goes on top of the eye colours. This makes the colour a little bit more believable. Grey is a neutralising colour and stops that from being too red, too rich. Again, following the same idea. And finally, I'm going to use a white, but this would be the colour. Now this will give us a little bit more strength. Now we can now come in with just a little bit more strength, giving it Now, I'm also going to use the 181 just on top of the 169. It just gives it just a little bit more depth. I can't think of another colour that you could use here. So 181 is the colour. It gives you detail. But you can also use the 181, not the 181. The 169, you can use 181 as well if you like, but this, I don't think we need it any here. This is 169, and this doesn't go everywhere, it just picks up a little bit of depth here and there. And it's almost the same colour as that. I say almost because there was another colour that I've added. And it doesn't matter really if you're not too precise with this, because bricks are like that. And then you use the white pencil then. This is the final colour that goes on, and again that can be put in here and there. Now you don't have to go this far if you don't want to, folks. You can make it a little less spotty, but it does, when it's finished, this is going to look quite amazing, the colour on that, because it's very accurate, the colour. The only thing that I would say is we need, let me just do that. You see that putting the white on there just gives us a really nice effect there. Yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 165, 181, or I'll try the 181. What you've got to do is to distress the bricks a bit. I was going to use the 175, but I think I might stick to 181. Now, what this does, it just makes just a little bit of depth here and there. And so the weathering really is what it is. And you can pick your bigger spots. You see, that might well be enough, but I think you'll agree that looks pretty stunning. When you pull back on that in a minute, which we will do, it will look great.